Know what you're like?
4:30 on WKYT this morning. Police say 2 people were injured and one of them stabbed during a large disorder in a Richmond neighborhood. We'll have the details from there.
Fans experienced a strong police presence at EKU's relocated football game in Georgetown.
And after the case was delayed, the 3 men charged with murdering a UK student will be appearing in front of a judge later today.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. We finally made it to Friday, and we're glad you're with us on WKYT This Morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Finally, Friday. Yeah. It's here. And let's see what the forecast has in schedule for us with Jim Caldwell.
We're going to change things up a little bit today, guys, as a cold front moves in, and that's going to bring some showers to the area later today. And it's also going to replace all of this warmth that we see out there this morning, 60s and 70s. We're going to replace it with 60s. For daytime highs instead of early morning temperatures that you're seeing out there. So a big change coming our way. Defender actually tracking a few showers across southern and eastern parts of Kentucky here on this Friday morning. Let's track the rest of your Friday out. Plot some of those temperatures as we go through the day. Likely getting into the mid-70s a little early before that big push comes through with that cold front. We will track it hour by hour coming up in just a few minutes.
Jim, we'll see you then. We thank you. New this morning on WKYT, 2 people were arrested this morning after shots were fired at a party in Lexington.
Officers were called out to the Raintree apartment complex around 1:30 this morning. They said the homeowner threw one of the guests out and a fight started. That's when the homeowner fired off his gun. No one was hit, but both the homeowner and guest were arrested. Police say the homeowner was charged with wanton endangerment, the guest with alcohol intoxication.
1 person is dead this morning after their vehicle crashed into a tractor trailer. That happened yesterday on Interstate 64 near mile marker 11 in Montgomery County. Investigators say a woman lost control over her car and it then slid into a tractor trailer that was parked on the side of the road. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. The coroner has not released the victim's name. Police say the woman's sister was also in the car. They say that she was airlifted to UK hospital with serious injuries.
Well, this morning a man is in jail after police say he stole from a Lexington fire station. Police charged 41-year-old Jason Allen with second-degree burglary. They say they found him not long after the theft yesterday. Firefighters say they noticed Allen going into a restricted area at Fire Station 2 on New Circle Road. When they approached him, firefighters say Allen grabbed some personal items belonging to firefighters and ran off. Police say Allen was arrested at a business across the road. 2 people are recovering this morning after police say a large disorder in a Richmond neighborhood got out of hand.
Richmond police say it happened last night along Ballard Drive. They say 1 person was stabbed. WKYT's Monique Blair talked to investigators about exactly what happened. She has more now from Richmond.
Richmond police tell me about 15 to 20 people were involved in that altercation out here on Ballard Drive that happened around 9 o'clock Thursday night.
We got a call of a large fight in progress. There was about 20 people with the clubs. 2 people possibly had guns. 1 person was stabbed. A couple people had knives. And 1 was stabbed twice, possibly, and he was transported to UK.
The extent of that person's injuries are unknown, but Richmond Police Major Steve Gregg says he was stabbed in his stomach area. Major Gregg says a second person was injured after a bullet ricocheted off his arm, but he refused to be transported and was treated on scene. Major Gregg says right now they are looking for 3 suspects, but they say that number could change as this investigation is ongoing. Police do believe this was a drug-related incident. Major Gregg says Richmond police will be increasing patrols out here in this area in an effort to solve this case and also to make sure everyone out here feels safe. In Richmond, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Well, EKU and police both said that this incident is not connected in any way to the threatening message that was found on campus earlier this week.
And that threatening message led to Eastern Kentucky University leaders moving last night's football game to another city. Instead of playing in Richmond, the Colonels played Tennessee Tech at Georgetown College. Thousands of EKU fans still showed up, but many noticed a very heavy security presence. WKYT's Garrett Weimer has more on last night's game.
The schedule may show it as just another game. To the fans, it was anything but.
Trying to make it a home game away from home is That's basically what it is.
The home team in a stadium 40 miles from their own, EKU fans still packed the place to cheer for their Colonels.
I go to about every game, and I'm not going to miss one for any reason.
Some even came hours early to tailgate before the game.
It's just good to get everybody's mind off something, have something that's positive instead of negative.
These young men represent the university, the team represents EKU, and we're pulling for them, just like we're pulling for our campus.
EKU, UK, and Georgetown police, as well as the Scott County and Harrison County Sheriff's offices, were among several agencies providing extra security at the stadium. Officers checked bags, and a K-9 unit even led a dog around to check cars. But the scene didn't stop Colonel fans from coming.
There's threats and things all the time, and I'm not going to let somebody that does that kind of mess, scare me out of having my fun. I'm still going to live my life.
Once the game started, it didn't take long to get those transplanted EKU fans out of their seats. A long touchdown pass, a great way to greet the home crowd, even miles away from Richmond. In Georgetown, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
All right, well, Donna Souter was there. It's all good. Police have also boosted security on EKU's campus. They say they will continue extra patrols even while students are gone for fall break.
Well, Montgomery County schools continue to investigate a threatening message that was found at McNabb Middle School. In a message to parents, they say the threat was general in nature and found on the wall of a bathroom. The school thinks that it's a copycat of the threatening message found at EKU. They say this message does not appear to be credible, and they don't think that anyone is in danger, but they say police will be at the school over the next few days.
3 men charged with murdering a UK student are expected to be back in court today. Back in April, authorities say Jonathan Kruger was robbed and shot while walking on East Maxwell Street. 20-year-old Efron Diaz, 18-year-old Dustin Smith, and 17-year-old Roman Gonzalez Jr. were all arrested for his murder. Back in July, Diaz and Smith pleaded not guilty to the murder charge. The case has been delayed because lawyers for the 3 say there was a lot of evidence to go through.
It's a huge shakeup in the House of Representatives speaker's race, our highest court back in session, and the first Democratic debate finally on the horizon.
A lot going on, and our Washington Bureau correspondent Alex Miller is joining us live from Washington to break down the week's biggest political stories. We thought we'd be discussing the next speaker today, but everything has been turned on its head. So how did we get here?
Well, I thought I would be talking to you about who the next nominee at least was for the speaker. This time last week, we thought we would actually have a new speaker. Then earlier this week, John Boehner pushed that back to October 29th, and the nominations were supposed to be yesterday. But during the nomination meeting yesterday, Representative Kevin McCarthy, who was thought to have been getting the nomination, dropped out of the race, out of the clear blue, surprising everybody. So there's a number of reasons why this might have happened. He made some comments on Fox News last week about Hillary Clinton's campaign and the Benghazi committee that got him in a little bit of hot water. During his dropout speech, he actually mentioned those comments, saying that they might have hurt him. But likely the real reason why he is not going to be the next nominee is because of a small group of conservatives that said that they would not back him when he needed to get those 218 votes. And here's what he had to say about that.
I don't want making voting for Speaker a tough one. I don't want to go to the floor and win with 220 votes. I think the best thing for our party right now is that you have 247 votes on the floor. If we are going to be strong, we got to be 100% united.
So McCarthy really is talking about unifying the party because Republicans are having a lot of trouble in that arena right now. Likely this conservative group did not want to vote for McCarthy because of some concessions that he refused to make. One Republican telling us that he asked McCarthy if he would go to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and tell them to, quote, quit attacking conservatives. And when McCarthy said that he would not do that, he lost this particular Republican's vote.
So McCarthy's out. Alex, the question is, who are we looking at next?
So it's really hard to say. McCarthy has said that he's going to stay in as majority leader, which is second in command, so that race doesn't have to happen. But Jason Chaffetz is surprisingly also seems to be out of the race, so we would think that it would be Representative Daniel Webster of Florida, but that's really only because he's the only one left right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if some more hats got thrown into the race. A lot of people are now talking about Paul Ryan. The House is on recess next week, so I suspect a lot of people will be going back to their districts and talking to people about who they should be looking to nominate.
Yeah, Ryan's said to be reluctant about it all, so we'll see. Alex, the Supreme Court kicked off its October term this week. What can we expect during this term?
So the court is going to look at a variety of cases, from abortion to affirmative action to capital punishment. Now, they're not going to be looking at those particular issues in their broad form, but much more specific questions. This week, they took up 2 capital punishment cases. The first one dealt with jury instructions, whether a jury was properly instructed in the case of heinous murders, and if in fact the bench does rule in favor of these convicted murderers, the way that we instruct juries in the future is going to completely change in every state. But Kansas could really be looking at an issue for themselves, because they've got a number of people on death row at the moment that they're going to have to revisit their cases. And as far as the other case, it had to deal with whether 2 people can be tried together if they committed a crime together. So it's cost efficient, and if the facts are the same, a lot of times this happens. And this could set a real precedent, not just for capital punishment cases, but for other cases as a whole. But experts have told me that it's unlikely that the bench will rule in favor of those 2 men.
So, Alex, the first Democratic debate next week. We know there may not potentially be quite the fireworks like there were in the Republican debates. We hope so, but we'll see. What can we expect?
Well, we definitely aren't going to expect those same fireworks. The Democrats are saying that they're focused on the issues. So you're not seeing that same debate prep. Mitt Romney was known for having mock debates, having people stand in and pretend to be other candidates. You're not going to see Bernie Sanders doing that. There is no mock Hillary Clinton. He has been requesting briefing books to really go over the issues. Joe Biden, who's not actually in the race, CNN has kind of said, you know what, hey Joe, if you want to be in the debate, you can announce the day of and we will let you in. The Draft Biden movement kind of released an ad, a 90-second ad earlier this week asking Biden to run, and he said he's going to be discussing this weekend with his family whether or not he's going to make that decision. So hopefully we will know a little bit more from him soon. And as far as Hillary Clinton goes, I don't think that she really expected to be entering this first debate the way that she is. She's a little bit battered and bruised from scandal after scandal over the last couple of months. So her job really in this debate is to come across trustworthy and to come across relatable to the people that she wants to vote for her.
All right. Well, we certainly live in interesting times. Thank you very much, Alex, for joining us this morning for a look at the week in Washington. We really appreciate it. Interesting feature we're doing here on Friday mornings now, getting us updated. And our time this morning is 4:43 on WKYT this morning.
Corn mazes, piles of leaves, bright orange pumpkins. Autumn is the perfect time for family fun. Moms Every Day will share us some fall activities with us when we return.
And we are tracking a few showers out there this morning, and we'll have a few more through the day. We'll take a closer look at those chances in the cooler air coming here in just a few minutes.